Well, hi there. I'm Ken Farr, a dendrologist with the Canadian Forest Service, and we're here in Commissionaires Park here in Ottawa today to talk about why trees change color in the autumn and what's going on when they do change color. The whole process started out back in August when the days started to get shorter, and it's something that drives the whole change that is taking place. Basically, a layer of cork cells at the base of the leaves that starts to form and cut the leaves off from the tree itself. So when that happens, in most trees, the color of the leaves is green, it's chlorophyll, and as the process runs on through late summer and into the autumn, the chlorophyll breaks down, is turned back into sugars and starches that are retained by the tree, and what you see is the actual color of the leaf itself. So in the case of oaks and beeches, mostly brown, not much color there, but other trees have nice orange colors from carotenoids and yellow as well. So that covers the basics, but there are factors in autumn colors that are really affected by the weather itself. And that's why you can have vintage years for color, just like you have vintage years for wine. And I'm speaking mainly of the beautiful red colors that we see in maples, in some ash species, in the stems of dogwoods as well. That red purple is anthocyanin, and it needs particular weather conditions as the leaf is being closed off to form from the sugars that are still in the leaf. So cool nights but not freezing, sunny days, not too wet but ample moisture for the trees is what gives you that real punch of red that adds to the landscape that we're familiar with here in Eastern Canada. Why do trees go through the whole process of dropping leaves before winter? Clearly, soft, broad leaves are not a structure that's going to make it through the winter. They're not going to be productive for the tree itself. So the best strategy is to drop those leaves, anticipating that there will be warm weather to come in the spring. So we can all kind of argue about, well, how do trees know that's going to happen, and why do they count on it? Another point to consider is that there are some temperate broadleaf trees that retain their leaves through the winter, which is really counterintuitive. The leaves dry up, but they don't have the abscission layer that causes them to fall off in the autumn. That doesn't happen until next spring. Why would trees like oaks and beeches and ironwoods adapt that strategy? There's a few ideas. It could be that retaining the leaves protects the buds from winter foragers like moose and deer. It could be that the leaves falling in the spring adds some fertilizer to the immediate area of the tree where it's going to start growing and need as much nutrition as possible. At any rate, all of these factors that we see in the loss of leaves on trees is a good indication of how well adapted trees and forests are to the conditions where they've grown and evolved. And it's very important that they remain in sync with the conditions that they have. With climate change, we're starting to see warmer autumn, a delayed frost time coming on. It could be that we'll see muted autumn colors in the future more often than we see a real vintage year. But in that case, time will tell.
If you're interested in planting a few trees so that you may enjoy beautiful autumn colors for years to come, check out the video on screen right now. Our dendrologist Ken Farr gives us some great options of trees to plant in an urban area. Make sure you do all the YouTube things, like and subscribe, and keep an eye out for our next video.